assessment tools. Furthermore, we make practical recommendations about what we consider to be the best approaches to attachment assessment for the clinician to use. This chapter also describes a number of instruments that are useful for assessing attachment behavior within the therapeutic relationship. The contributions of early childhood attachment disturbance to adult psychopathology have been of great research interest. Chapter 5, Attachment and Psychopathology, is designed as an overview of how patterns of insecure attachment are related to various psychiatric conditions, such as anxiety disorders, affective disorders, somatic symptom disorders, post-traumatic stress and dissociative disorders, personality disorders, and addictive behaviors. This chapter also includes a summary of the research findings from our study of adults who were abused as children in an orphanage. This sample included children who were physically and sexually abused, many by the same abusers, and were either securely or insecurely attached at the period of their abuse. It was possible to separate out the relative and independent contributions of early attachment status and childhood abuse to adult psychopathology. These data strongly suggest that treatment of patients with complex trauma, personality disorders, and/or dissociative disorders should focus first on attachment repair before any phase-oriented trauma processing. Part 3, Treatment, addresses treatment approaches to attachment disorders in adults. Those less familiar with the range of available attachment-based treatments should carefully listen to Chapter 6, an overview of treatments for attachment disturbances. This chapter reviews a wide range of currently available attachment-based treatments. We have tried to present both the advantages and limitations of each approach as we have come to understand them. This overview of available treatments, along with the discussion of their underlying assumptions and limitations, serves as the rationale for why we developed a new treatment approach. Chapter 7, An Introduction to the 3 Pillars of Comprehensive Attachment Treatment, is a must-listen for the clinician. In this chapter, listeners are given an overview of what we believe to be the 3 essential ingredients, the 3 pillars, of clinically effective and efficient attachment-based treatment. These include A. Systematically utilizing ideal parent figure imagery to develop a new, positive, stable internal working model of secure attachment. B. Fostering a range of metacognitive skills. And C. Fostering nonverbal and verbal collaborative behavior in treatment. This chapter concludes with a discussion of how each pillar of treatment is interdependent with the other pillars, thereby forming an internally consistent, unified method of treatment. Chapter 8 is a richly detailed instructional guide for using the first pillar, the Ideal Parent Figure Protocol. We show the clinician how to introduce the protocol, shape the imagery, and conclude the session. The chapter presents and describes 3 mutually enhancing approaches to shaping the ideal parent figure, IPF, imagery. One based on research findings about attachment, one based on the 5 primary conditions that promote secure attachment, and one based on a patient's descriptions of her or his early experiences with caregivers. Special attention is given to the wording of the imagery instructions, and these are richly illustrated with clinical vignettes. We also highlight the problems clinicians typically encounter when working with IPF imagery, and provide guidance for avoiding these problems or resolving them when they occur. Chapter 9 addresses the second pillar, metacognitive interventions for attachment disturbances. This chapter presents 4 generations of the development of metacognitive approaches to treatment. The second generation has developed a treatment method, the increasingly popular mentalization-based treatment, MBT. This approach serves to develop a general capacity for reflective function in patients, which in turn increases overall coherence of mind. There is impressive outcome data from MBT studies of patients with borderline personality disorder. The third generation, the modular or condition-specific approach, is less familiar to many. Yet the research that underlies this approach shows that patients with different diagnoses tend to have very specific